Excusez-moi. Ah, God. I had a big dinner, so my gut's like, oh no. Oh no! So, overall, I'm also going to have to put in a sanity or corruption system. I don't quite know how I want to do this yet. I want to portray it more as mental trauma. Because one of the big things among the Okagam, I believe that's what it's called, and What in the Heart on the Deep Blue Sea, is that there's a lot of, effectively Pepper, there's a lot of underlying mental problems that people go on. People go Bananarama insane, or people lose themselves to their passions. So I may have to play around with that a little bit more. Sanity or corruption don't seem like the perfect thing. Both of those seem on kind of different wavelengths than what I want. So I'm gonna have to add in like almost a mental trauma system, and kind of I'm gonna have to explore the idea of trauma and mental pain rather than, okay, you're getting more evil, or hey, you're losing your banana points. Okay, everyone, you're now insane. Oh no. Oh no. But I am going to have to add an exploration mechanic. It's not going to be as hardcore as any of the other games I've done. It's going to be a fairly light one, probably of either a very simple hex system or a very simple even grid-based, like just very simple squares. It's there for the exploration mechanics, not anything like. It's not going to be the point of the game, but it's going to be a point in the middle of the game. If that makes sense. More of a tick. Let's see. Oh yeah. This is going to be one of the harder parts. The game has to be a bit more cutesy. Cutesy but sinister rather than being overtly so in either directions. So what I'm thinking of there is 2 points. One, I'm going to have to add possibly a system of relationships. How I want to do this relationship system, I don't know yet, but I'm going to have to add something to it. Pretty much how I'm envisioning this is Watanahara is effectively a game about relationships and how people are affected by them. Who's connected to Watanahara? Some Kechi, I believe that's his full name. All the other familiars, Tetsumiya and Sal and all of them. Pretty much every character is related to the main character. By extension, like every character is usually even like 1 or 2 steps away from them in some capacity. So building that up is going to be a fairly key idea. I might actually see if I can't, I wouldn't say steal, but nick some ideas from Morons with Pedigrees actually, and the web system there. But I don't quite know how I want to integrate it fully into the system. Because I want it to be important. I want you to feel angry that your friend's being stupid, and I want you to feel happy when your friend's doing good things. I want you to have those relationships among your compatriots, and have that relationship with your enemy that makes you understand, like, hey, I'm not just fighting some random dumbasses here. I'm fighting a person that I know, or a person that's related to someone I know. And that, I also have this little section here. I'm going to have to make the health system meaty. Now, am I going to go full Necronica? Am I going to say, okay, you get your arm ripped off violently and you're now dead, Lamau? No. But I'm going to have to put in a system where gore becomes I wouldn't say a fundamental part of it, but you also get things like Watanahara, what's a good one? Yeah, you get some things like this, demon dispositions, that's Sonic OC. A lot of people, things get very bloody very quickly sometimes in this game. As people die pretty horrifically very quickly for little to no reason in some cases. As you see, the Red Witch ending is a very popular ending because people keep dying. Where is some good? I don't think... Okay, honestly, if you're watching this, you probably don't really give that... you probably don't give that much of a shit about spoilers. Where are you? Well, okay, let's just say there's an entire ending where this tentacle or your tentacle friend, God, I see a good picture of him. Yeah, this man pretty much rips you in half and decapitates all your friends. So, a nice and wholesome. A nice and wholesome game for wholesome and nice things. Yeah, there's a lot of... It's going to be like, oh, hey, everyone's nice, and then you, like, graphically have to murder someone with a knife or something. That's going to be a part of this. Anyway, I look at it, but overall, this is the basics. I am estimating this to be around 4 to 6 episodes, so... If it... I'm estimating a little bit higher because it's either going to go real slow or real quick, depending on the situation. But I'm not expecting it to be this, like, massive... it's like, excuse... What sound? Oh God, what sound? But see, now I'm concerned. You've flipped on the concern button. Hello, Sleep. How are you? Oh God. Oh God. I'm making sounds. Also, Sleeps, this is the new microphone. That's nice. I mean, Zahn is an alien, so congratulations, you made contact with someone from beyond the stars. So we did it, everyone. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I've also realized this microphone is incredibly sensitive. I've had to do some little editing around in OBS to actually cancel out anything below a certain threshold, because what was happening is picking up the fan in my computer. It's that sensitive, and like when I was doing some testing, a car drove by and it picked up the car. So I would not be surprised if there are some weird little hiccups every now and again. Oh yeah, I also, here is the Notepad coin of service. Requiem por laboro, quid pro quo. Pretty much, well through labor, this for that. I put it on all of the streams which I'm working on a commission project for. I'll put that right in the corner there. And this is a commission project, so bear with me. I'm being paid dollary dues by night to do this. So I always have my preliminary notes. This is what I sent them, the commissioner. It's some of the points I'm going to have to do is this one. Combat should be fairly dangerous, but never strictly lethal. As well as this, I need to make sure that you don't. Okay, give me 1 second. Oh, that's my I have given up sound. Yeah, welcome to making terrible sounds, I guess. Don't worry, everyone. We found out how to kill Pepper. Good job, everyone. But some of the other issues that let's see. I think one of the notes I did put here is being a witch means you're the main character, and what does that usually mean? Now, usually when someone says, I'm the main character in a tabletop RPG, you want to beat that person with a nearby club, because that is the most annoying, godforsaken thing someone can do. However, in this game, I'm going to actually have to facilitate it a lot more. Being it's like, yes, you are the witch of X. That's your domain, that's your thing, this is your entire world, almost. Is to be a part of that. You are the witch of this. There's not multiple witches of this. It's you are. That is your thing. Now, one of the other difficult things about this thing is there are multiple worlds that are touched upon, multiple lands that are told exist, but have never actually been explored and are like a sentence long in the detail. So I'm going to have to worry about that. So have fun, me, where I want to blow my goddamn head off. So one of the other issues is familiars by themselves aren't... When I say familiar, a lot of people automatically think like, yes, here's my cat this is my familiar, or this is this little imp that follows me around, my familiar. Familiars are animal people, and I'm going to have to find a method to make sure that you can play, let me bring, again. I need to make sure you can play this dude just as well as you can play these two. Because that is a seagull, that is a dolphin, and that is a shark boy. I need to make sure that you can play all three of these. Now, in-game, this works. This is very much a video game thing that works, where you don't really have to worry about that. But as a tabletop game, that immediately becomes an issue you have to worry about. Mostly because you can just say, yes, that girl obviously can use a sword twice her size, and yes, obviously the seagull girl there is using a Bowie knife, effectively. That makes complete sense, because it is a video game. But how do you do that on the table? That's going to be the hard part, because people are naturally going to want to use their... I wouldn't say God-given, because God's kind of a dumbass in this world, but their their powers that have been associated with them by virtue of being a animal person. The fact that you are a octopus man, you're going to want to use those octopus tentacles to slam dam ramadam ding dong. And there's also some weird things where you can turn back into an animal, which I have no goddamn idea how that works, because they don't talk about that. And I was actually discussing this with someone else last night. Watanahara is a setting built around the story, rather than a setting built around that the story takes place in. Settings like that work. That's fine. No, they're there for a reason. But for tabletop games, that gets a little bit more complicated, as you have to worry about a lot of exterior things that you wouldn't normally have to think about. How does everyone breathe underwater? Who the cares in the game? You're all talking animal people. Go stab someone. But it's just like, okay, maybe there's magic or something that's at play, and people who are normally above ground can breathe underwater if they're in this certain bounds. Cool, fine, it works. We can make that work. Okay, does it apply to everyone? Maybe. Okay, does certain people have it? Yes, but no. This is even getting more complicated when you get to people who are animals of certain types. Like, if I'm a bird, can I fly? And that's going to be a question that's going to pop up. I am a bird person. Can I fly? Because in any game whatsoever, the second someone gets the ability to fly, the game changes. Because if you have to introduce the Z, the X and Y grid, you have to introduce the Z grid, which complicates things further for movement. It always complicates things for movement. It always does. If anyone ever tells you it doesn't hit them. And the second major problem child there, you have to wonder what's the balancing factor. Do I start employing, do you as the GM start employing mass archers to shoot them down? Then it stops being fair because, like, oh, okay, cool, the archers are going to now dive bomb you and do bajillions of damage and kill you instantly. Well, why did I ever select being that? Or you don't use archers and use some melee guys who can't literally do anything because, like, Lamau, I'm in the air, can get me, you can get me, you can get me, and then everyone gets mad. So it's the back and forth of dealing with that is always a fun and exciting adventure. Or what do you do if someone wants to play a beluga whale? And they're like, hey, yeah, I want to turn into a beluga whale on top of him. And then it's just like, oh, you want to do fucking what? Like, how do you fix that? How do you address that issue going forward? Will this come up? No. In the story, why would it ever come up? There's literally no reason for it to come up. The problem is that if it does, you gotta address it. You gotta find out a method to make sure the issue isn't as big as you think it is, because the second you find out, the second it becomes an issue, is what I'm trying to get across. And that's the problem. Like, yeah. Everything is fine until someone turns into a beluga whale on land, and then everyone gets mad. So, and there's also some which, like, some people do and some people don't. Like, do you just lose your items, or it goes into hammer space? It doesn't tell you, because why would it? Because it is a video game. It was made in RPG Maker 2000, for God's sakes. So, yes, Google drop. I think that's always something you always have to worry about in these kind of games. What's our main font going to be? What on our title screen? Got some impeccable art going on here. Got this weird RPG Maker looking thing here. Unfortunately, I can't select RPG Maker art, so we're instead going to go title. Play it safe with Archivo. Probably just play it a safe place with Archivo. And if that's, we're going to want to make this probably just basic Archivo. Subtitle. Archivo. Subtitle. Edit subtitle. So this is going to be body text. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. Usually I only go down to heading 4. If I have to go further than heading 4, something has drastically gone wrong. So let's see. Archivo. Header. Actually, Archivo black. Header. Pair. Roboto, looks like, yeah, Roboto is probably the safest answer. Archivo Roboto. Yeah, no, with this new mic, I've had to change things around a little bit, so things are all over Hell's Havoc. Roboto, we'll do Roboto 12. Update normal text. Heading 1, you're going to be Archivo. We're just going to make you archivo. Yeah, we'll just make you archivo. Actually, can I make you, there we go, archivo 1 heading. And that means heading 2, archivo, update heading 2 to match. Heading 3, apply heading 3, we want to do archivo. Heading 3, update heading 3. Heading 4, if you ever get down to heading 4, you've fundamentally made a mistake in your life, and you should cease using heading 4. Heading 4 to match. Alright, everything should be good. Okay, so, subtitle. Hey, what I'm gonna completely butcher this like I usually do. I hate this girl's name, you have no idea. Guadalajara and the deep blue sea role-playing game. Select everything, put it right in the middle. Boom biata, baby. Like this is her goddamn name. Like what? Like Guadalajara. Like it, I always want to put an extra N, like 3 extra N's somewhere in there. So like Guadalajara. Like this doesn't work. I hate her name, but I'm going to have to live with it. Just to keep things accurate, here I'm going to put the title card in here. There we go, there's the title card. As you can see, it's a happy-go-lucky adventure for the whole family. And I did put this part, she's actually a 100-year-old lolly witch, so she's legal. Just remember that, kids. She's legal. 100 years old right there. Can't forget that. Because God's dead, I guess. So, we're going to make our table of contents right here. Insert. Where are you? Table of contents 1 through 3. There we go. Don't need to worry. Why are you gray? No. No, it'll be black. There we go. And we're going to start with our preface. Preface. Commissioned by a local pervert of the lewd game finder. Actually, what I should do, commissioned by preface a commission project about Guadalajara and the deep blue sea, a 2013 JRPG about a girl, an ocean, and the horrifying reality of life and how it hates you, and witches and stuff. Overall, investigation into the setting and the associated properties was an interesting delve into the psychology of deep sea prisoner. The main writer. Their works are varied and odd, with a few reoccurring themes. With a few reoccurring themes about love, life, and the desperate clinging to happiness before it is ripped away from you, often violently. Game was made in RPG Maker 2000, which is somewhat of an odd point, as it is an odd duck of a game being free with RPG mechanics and a manga, but both are separate in how they approach the story in general. Because, fun fact, I actually read the first half of the manga because the second half has never been translated, and they like almost completely ignore like a lot of the like traveling around. Like you can say the first few hours of the game almost are just not there because just like, oh no, we fixed everything. Bye. Like they just glance over all the game parts and nothing changes, which again lends it to me like this is a setting based around the story and not the other way around. The story does not take place in this world. The setting is built for this story. Then part two happened. Takes quick story crazy. Suddenly, the cute facade falls away to the gory underbelly of the, actually I should spell belly right, underbelly of the entire affair. The very gory, very deadly affair. Overall, this project is of two souls. One about cute witch doing cute things, and the other being about the horrible life and times of being a witch. Buckle up. It's not going to get easier. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to rely pretty hard on fan art for the artwork in this. So, yeah, take that as you will. So, we'll just make sure this is working the way it should. God damn, it's going to be gray the entire time until I fix things. No. So, let's get to playing the game. And like I usually do, I like to bring up previous notes just to make sure that they sound roughly similar. I'm going to bring up the old commission project. The one where the guy never paid me. Let's see if he's let's see if he's in here. Oh, nope. No. Of course he isn't. But, yeah, here's all 40 pages of it for him, now playing the game. So, Deep Sea is played with a D20. Is played with a full set of dice. Three to 5 players. Game, actually, we're going to call it a narrator. Some spare time, and a iron cat, and a tolerance for for some and a tolerance for juxtaposition. How do I fucking spell that? Juxtaposition. Ugh. Now, I'm all the one for juxtaposition. I love juxtaposition. No tolerance for juxtaposition. Whenever a character attempts an action with a chance of failure, is in opposition to another character, or is in opposition, they must perform a check. The character will roll a d20 and add their attributes. Well, d20, comma, adding their attribute. Actually, you see adding in attribute and skill. Should I put on a skill system? You know what? I'm going to make a very... 40 page. You think 40 pages is a lot? It's only 7,777 words. This game turned out to be pretty fun. A lot of little cool things in this one that I can't share it with anyone. Yeah, I really can't. I cannot share it with anyone until I get the last $30 dues, which is easier said than done. The character will roll a d20, adding an attribute and skill. Their check. Preferably his, because I don't want someone else paying for it. If I don't get anything, probably by the end of next month, I might just release it just wholesale. Put a little note in it being just like, this guy never paid me. Everyone, shame him. Shame. To the result. If the roll is greater to or equal to the target number set by the narrator, the character succeeds. If it is less, the character fails. The character fails in an opposed check. The character that rolls the highest is the winner of the competition. Is winner of the competition. And if there is a tie, then the character with the higher attribute with the larger attribute, attribute is the victor. If both characters have the same roll, same results, and same attribute, the player character is the victor. Players win. I always like putting that little note tiddly bit in, just in case someone gets a little bit notey about things. Deep Sea is played with a full And now I gotta put in my usual ones. Where's a good one? Feast of Blood and Clapback. Hey, here's me rewriting Wendy's really shitty game. There's our target numbers. I have the one to do add in crit successes or crit fails. I think I am going to put this on. So, if a character rolls a 1, actually rolls a 20 on the d20, they have performed a crit and automatically succeed at the task. At the task they are performing. If the character rolls a 1 on the d20, they have fumbled and automatically fail the check. Crit and fumbles do not apply to combat rolls or opposed checks. Actually, what I should do, actually no, crits and fumbles do not apply to opposed checks or checks of pure luck. Yeah, apply to opposed checks against other characters. Yeah, crits and fumbles. They suffer a fumble. Fumbles do not apply to opposed checks against other characters. Pretty bog standard method, honestly. Like, it's a D20 system. I'm not exactly trying to reinvent the goddamn wheel here. Oh god, this is going to annoy me the entire goddamn time, isn't it? Okay, so you have our basic system in place. We do have that. So what I'm going to do is probably going to call the stream here. Again, I didn't say this was going to be a long stream. This is going to be a pretty shorty, but I just wanted to make sure my microphone and all that worked pretty well. But what we're going to do is I'm going to put this up in the preface probably. And to-do list. So we need to have the making a. Our first one's going to be making a character, and we're probably going to be doing next episode, the first episode, which is probably be tomorrow because I didn't stream the last few days because of the mic issue. No. I make random noises. You should know this by now. I'm making a character, and I'm going to break it down to probably making a witch, making a familiar, and from there it's going to be health and well-being. And from there I'm going to have to put in the gore effects. And then, yeah, actually health and well-being, gore effects, and we'll put trauma in here actually. So yeah, no, we'll combine traditional health and kind of my idea for the mental trauma all into one go. From there, we're probably going to flip right it almost directly into... I hate it when it does this, but from making a character, we're going to probably slip right into my usual on character creation. We're going to be overcoming obstacles. Actually, we'll call it obstacles and enemies. Actually, probably what I'd want to do. Magic, obstacles and enemies. Navigating the world. What we'd probably do is relationships and strings. See, that's one of those weird things, because in the game, technically everyone has magic points, but the idea of the magic points are like just basic spell points, and that's how RPG Maker 2000 actually works. Is you don't have like stamina points or anything, you just use your MP to use an ability. That's just how it works. So I'm going to use Sword Stab, which costs 2 MP kind of thing. So I think what I'm going to do is, if you invest enough points into it, everyone can use magic, but if you don't have the points invested into it, it's not going to be worth it. So it's like, oh hey, yeah, I can like do like point something forward, like not like to actually do anything you need a good amount of MP, and familiars aren't going to have that MP. While the witch on the other hand is going to have the MP but not the health to actually survive these conflicts. So you're going to need the familiar to protect you. The witch is going to be pretty much running as support almost. And I'm hoping that's kind of balances out, you can say, how characters are made, because I'm going to try to avoid classes in this game. I don't really like I never really liked classes. I think it stratifies people a little bit too much. But let's see. So magic and manipulate, and magic and the witch, I should say, is the witch. Magic, relationships and strings, obstacles and enemies, navigating the world. And let's see. Oh, what I'm going to need is, once we hit there, we're going to make advancement, equipment, or I should say tools and equipment. I actually should ask Knight, like, hey, do you want classes in this? That probably wouldn't be the worst idea I've ever done. From there, I really just need enemies to round things out. Actually, we can do that. Equipment, sample enemies. Okay, so here's going to be, this is our basic roadmap here. This is our early access roadmap, and what I can do is, because Knight paid me the full amount, is I'm going to send them this document and be like, hey, you have comment rights, no one else does. Feel free to tell me what you want or don't want. Overall, system's fairly simple, fairly bog standard. I'm going to have to ask them about the specifics behind some things, but overall, I don't think it's going to be that complex of what they're looking for. So what I was thinking about doing for things. So let's say we have just our basic setup of like our basic attributes or something like body, spirit, reflexes, bravado. Yeah, let's just say these are our key 4. So HP, let's say our health points is going to be for health points quote which is going to be like bod times 2, but health points familiar is going to be bod times 4. A little bit tougher. But for spirit, your mana points, which is going to be speed times 4. And for, mana points, familiar is going to be spy times 2. Like, you can get a lot of mana or a lot of health in both ways, but you have to invest the points. Players are not stupid. If I've learned anything in my time, players are not stupid. They will optimize if they see it. So if they see, hey, I get more bang for my buck dumping my points into being spiritual, that I'm going to put my points into being having high spirit. But if they see I'm not going to get a big of advantage for doing this, they're not going to do it. Now, can you theoretically make like a super hardcore familiar with really high spirit? Yeah, you can. I'm not gonna stop you from doing that. But they're not going to be as effective as someone who as a witch. Like a witch versus a familiar magician, the witch is going to be stronger. But the familiar is going to have a little bit more oomph behind everything they do. So overall, I think I'm gonna call this a stream here. We've been going for about an hour now. I said this wasn't gonna be exactly a fun and exciting one, but this was just me going over things and making sure everything actually worked properly. So, nice simple D20 system, our basic to-do list. This is going to be, if I'm gonna be good, probably I'm gonna see if I can't hammer out this entire thing tomorrow. This is my goal, get the making a character done. Once the making a character is done, I think I'm flying pretty solid going for the future. I don't think I really need to worry about much else. I have a feeling the Witch and Magic's going to probably, if I go here, let me make this 1 episode, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So we can probably get this done at 5 if we go pretty fast, or depending on how fast this takes, it may be 1, it may be 2, I don't know. That's why I kind of gave myself the 4 to 5 episodes kind of work with. So overall, if things go completely according to plan, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably I can get this game done by the end of the month if things go completely according to plan. But things rarely do, so that's why I'm here. And I will have to ask them how they want to do a few things, which reminds me, glasses, question mark, the Witch and Magic, oh yeah, never mind, so I'm going to have to add the create a spell. Create a spell here. Relationships, I have the idea, I have the mechanics, it's just doing them at this point. Navigating in the world, these two things, this thing and this thing, these are going to be fairly 3-page sections. This isn't going to be a very big game. If I'm guesstimating right, this is not going to be a massive game, but it doesn't really need to be massive because it was going out to be a simple game. But obviously, I am the one who's going to always obey the commissioner and what they want. And if anyone has any further ideas, feel free to hit me up. I'm always open for suggestions or ideas. But thank you all for watching. And sorry this wasn't a very long stream. I will be streaming tomorrow, most likely, if things don't go horribly to plan. But thank you all. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Godspeed and good luck. Goodbye.